Don't let the water run. That could make the biggest difference.
We wanted to be buried and let nature take its course.
We need to deliver energy so we're not harming any wildlife.
Welcome to Save My Planet. I'm Stephen Brooks, here on the Pacific coast of Costa Rica. Whether it's a house, hotel, or a whole city, with development comes responsibility for the land and all its inhabitants. In a little bit, we're going to visit a wildlife refuge that's working hard to protect the local monkey population and make sure development happens in a way that's smart, sustainable, and safe. But first, let's talk about water. Sometimes it's easy to forget that good old H2O is one of our most precious and limited resources. To find out how much water people use and what they're doing to save it, we met up with some water experts who are making sure our supplies don't end up going down the drain.
In the United States, people take it for granted. You turn on a faucet, you have water.
Well, you know, water is one of the most amazing natural resources. If we do run out of water, it's significant.
In most areas, you're drawing with wells from water underground. In that water, they're having to go deeper and deeper to get to that water. It's drying up.
Some parts of the United States could, in fact, run out of fresh water.
In my city, we pump 1 billion gallons of water out of our lake every day. 3/4 of that is used. 25% of that is lost.
Many of our largest cities are still working with pipes that are over 100 years old. Unaccounted for water is the water that's leaking from these 100-year-old systems before it even gets to the consumer, but after it's been treated and after it's been pumped. So it already has all that energy and money in it invested by cities, and yet it's not being delivered to the consumer.
We don't want to run out of water. If we run out, water is going to go the way that oil's gone. A lot of parts of the United States, people don't even have water meters. So they could waste water and they don't pay any extra. They might have an estimated bill. That's going to change.
He means that pretty soon, we're all going to have to pay more for our H2O. One way to save water and to save money is to turn your home into an urban dam.
The urban dam is a concept of stopping the water at your home, not just turning a faucet on and just letting it go straight down the drain.
Wasting water is really quite easy to do. It's unbelievable. A family of 4 that runs their faucet while they're brushing their teeth, they waste up to 200 gallons a week.
As few as 15, 20 years ago, shower heads were putting out about 10 gallons a minute. The average 10-minute shower was 100 gallons. There's so many fixtures out there that help you save water. Tankless water heaters, they heat up instantly. They only heat what they need. Faucets with low-flow aerators, so you're using 1/4 of the water. Low-consumption toilets, dual flush toilets. We could save thousands and thousands of gallons a year per household.
This is a water-efficient shower head, and you know, even those of us who just love a relaxing, warm shower, I think we'll be very impressed with the amount of water that we feel we're getting on our bodies.
Well, I'm convinced, but how do I know which fixtures are the most water efficient?
One of the biggest things happening nationally around water conservation is water sense.
Water sense fixtures are the equivalent to Energy Star as it relates to faucets, aerators, and toilets.
When you buy a water sense appliance, you are assured that it exceeds national standards for water efficiency by 20%. And not only that, you're also assured that the appliance has been double and triple tested in order to meet the water sense labeling criteria.
Even more than changing out fixtures, it's how we think about the water. Don't let the water run. That alone could make the biggest difference.
To find out how well you're doing with water conservation and help save even more, just ask a green plumber.
Green plumbers help citizens be better stewards of our resources because they know how to walk into a home and figure out all the best ways to be more efficient.
We're going to be performing a water audit at a customer's home.
Hi.
Hi,
Steve.
Gloria. How are you doing?
Okay, how about
Good
you?
to
Come
see
on
you.
in.
She's an older lady, single. She's just got 2 bathrooms in her home and a kitchen, but we're gonna go through her home and see how she might be able to save money.
Well, first thing we want to do is make sure no water's running in the house. Kind of check the water meter, just gives us a good idea of whether there's a leak or something in the house. We look for movement.
Our water audit is a 50-point audit where we go through, we track the way you wash the dishes.
Do you wash your dishes with the dishwasher?
I don't have a
You
dishwasher.
don't have a dishwasher? That's right, you don't.
The types of fixtures that you have, wash machines, are they older? How often do you use them? One of the most common wastes of water in a home is a leaky toilet. It's hard to tell you have a problem with the toilet because the tank is closed. So the water can be running and you never know it.
We're going to put 2 tablets of dye into the tank.
We dye test all the tanks to make sure there's not even small leaks. The shower head, we actually measure the water consumption and show them, okay, this shower head's using 12 gallons a minute. Do you want to change that?
We're going to let the water go in through here. It kind of pushes down, raises a gauge in here. It'll tell you whether it's doing 1, 2, 3, or 4 gallons per minute.
We'll actually calculate for a homeowner how much water they use in a week, month, and a year's time, and we'll show them on paper how they can reduce that very simply, very painlessly.
Change habits, all right.
Change habits, those are the big things. With a little behavior modification, I think you're going to be just fine.
We got satisfied customers. They're happy about our ability to help them make an impact on the environment, make an impact on the world as it goes forward, and on their pocketbook.
You know, we're all going to be limited with our water consumption. So why not start now before it's too late?
As you can see, from installing new fixtures to just shutting off the old ones, saving water isn't that hard to do. And the results can go a long way. When we come back, we're going to go to Northern California and talk to some people who are finding ways to save the planet even after we're gone. Welcome back to Save My Planet. As we all know, death is inevitable, but that doesn't mean it's the end of our relationship with the planet. In fact, the way we choose to bury our bodies can have a long-lasting effect on the environment. The folks at the Fernwood Cemetery in Marin County, California have thought long and hard about this and have found greener alternatives to traditional burials.
I think in our society, a lot of people are not exposed to death. So we're not intimately involved in death at this point in our culture. But we really believe here that it is a part of the cycle of life. Green burial basically is going back to the traditions of thousands of years. It's not embalming a body, using no grave liners or vaults, and placing them in something biodegradable directly into the soil and allowing nature to take its course. A lot of people don't know that natural burial is available. They don't know that it's legal. They think that you have to be embalmed, that you have to be in a grave liner or vault. So they don't understand that there are other options. And then when they come here and they see the beauty of the natural environment and they see the space, they're really amazed that this is an option. Jeffrey's wife passed away last year after an illness. He and his wife were very much committed to the environment, and so this was an absolutely perfect fit for them.
For the 37 years we were together, my wife and I were always outdoor kind of people. And in taking care of the planet, one of the things we have to do is minimize our impact. You know, leave only footprints, take only pictures. If you walk out on the hillside where the natural burials have been, the ecologic burials, it's a place of greater peace. We're not making a big impact because that's not really what we wanted to do. We simply wanted to be buried and let nature take its course.
What we do here is water, soap, oils, just natural products. There's no chemicals being used for someone's loved one.
We don't allow any toxic embalming fluids here. Most embalming fluid is primarily formaldehyde, and putting formaldehyde into the soil is not a good thing for the environment.
And it's not just chemicals that get put into the soil with a traditional burial. There's lots of other ways too.
In most cemeteries, they require a grave liner or vault, and that typically is a concrete box that goes inside the grave, and then the casket goes inside that box. We feel that that's a real waste of resources to be putting those into the soil. Why bury that much concrete every year? So we just put the casket directly back into the soil. Many traditional caskets are either steel or exotic hardwoods. We don't want to use those natural resources, so we require that it be in something biodegradable.
We have a wicker casket that is done with just wicker and a cotton lining, so everything's biodegradable. And then we have something which is more common and more traditional is our plain pine box, which is set in with rope handles, all natural glue, no nails, there's no staining. So basically what we have here is completely natural rope, wood, wickered, basically something that will biodegrade over a certain amount of time.
There are not huge monuments. There are not staked off little iron fences. My wife's gravestone is a simple piece of shattered granite from the Sierra Nevada mountains. There is no inscription on that stone.
Traditional granite headstones or bronze headstones require a lot of effort. They are mined and cut and polished and engraved. It takes a lot of resources to do that. With the natural rocks that we allow here, they're just a rock that you might find in your garden, so there's a lot less ecological impact. These oak trees are actually trees that have been planted to mark a particular family's section of the cemetery. They have a family plot here. They have some large boulders that mark their graves. And some people choose to not mark the graves in the cemetery.
But without a headstone, how do families visit the graves of their loved ones?
It really is about people wanting the entire space to be a memorial to their loved one. Not so much needing to mark the exact spot, but to actually just have the open space be the memorial.
Having this kind of a burial where it has just absolute minimum impact, no carbon footprint, it made a great deal of sense to us that this would be something that my wife would have wanted. As they say, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. It's very benign in terms of treating Mother Earth.
It just goes to show you there's all sorts of ways we can help save the planet, both in life and death. When we come back, we'll explore the Nicoya Peninsula of Costa Rica and meet some people that are working hard to keep development in harmony with nature. Welcome back to Save My Planet. We're here on the beautiful Nicoya Peninsula in Costa Rica, where tourism is a big part of life. And as we all know, with tourism comes development. From power lines to road traffic, that development can have a real impact on the environment, especially the wildlife. To help make a difference, a local conservation group teamed up with a nearby hotel to protect the jungle's loudest inhabitant, the Howler monkey. I'm here with Gerardo Bolaños, who's the sustainability coordinator here at the Harmony Hotel. And we're in the Nicoya Peninsula of Costa Rica, an extremely delicate area. They're doing some great things to lessen their impact. Tell me about this, Gerardo.
Well, here at the hotel, we have a permanent sustainability program, which involves energy saving, water saving, also native plants in our gardens.
So it's really great what you're doing, within the grounds of the hotel, but how are you helping impact the greater community?
We have created a relationship with the Cebu Sanctuary and Nosara Wildlife Refuge. We help them fund their operation, and second, we have created a group here with the staff members that have been voluntarily helping on the rescue labors. They take care of monkeys that have been electrocuted on wires, and they help them to reintroduce them to their natural environment as well.
How are the monkeys getting electrocuted?
Well, of course, with development, you need electricity. So monkeys confuse the power lines with branches. Because you cut trees when you develop, they may need the cables to pass from one place to another, so they might get electrocuted.
I'm here with Brenda Bombard, who is the founder of the Nosara Wildlife Refuge, and this place is amazing. Tell me about it, Brenda.
We're here to help rescue the injured animals. Mostly it's the howler monkeys that we have to accommodate due to electrical power lines and transformers.
So you just kind of saw the need for this just arose and you stepped up to the plate.
Yeah, exactly. I would accept them and try to give them aid, to help with the pain. A lot of the females, especially with their first infant, their balance is off. And when they do get electrocuted and they fall, the babies are usually on their back and they're not harmed. But unfortunately, most of the big ones all die.
I can imagine Brenda getting a call. There's a monkey down here, blah, blah, blah. And then tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well, I gather very quickly a box, gloves, a towel, and another person to go help me.
And this big giant pole.
And this big giant pole. So the idea is, if they're hanging on the wire, to get them off there. So we would take this and try to hit the monkey and hit that wire to get it off there.
Is it okay if you actually touch the wire?
Absolutely. This is fiberglass, and it is made for touching high voltage wire.
So once we have the monkey down off the line, then what do we do?
Then what we do is we grab them. The second person has this box ready, and we together lift and put it into the box.
So then from here, you take the box and you take it back to the refuge center.
Yeah.
So now we're here at the nursery here with Conga and Elvira. What do you do here besides just fall madly in love with these little girls and guys?
Well, what we do is after they've been rescued and brought to us, we assess them to see what kind of condition they're in. Very often are dehydrated. Just like you would an infant child, we use the same medications and the same fluids.
And the same toys.
And the same toys.
And Brenda, how long do they stay here, the baby monkeys?
They'll stay here till they're 6 months or so, and until they're eating really well, and then they'll go to the rescue center. Then from there, about a year, year and a half, depending on their growth and their size, they'll go out to Cebu, where they'll be stepped down and released eventually.
That's your payment, huh?
That's my payment, when they look up at me and they survive. And the next payment is when they get out to Cebu and I see them out in those trees. That's the next big payment.
After the break, we'll go visit the Cebu Sanctuary, where they prepare the monkeys for their release back into the wild. Welcome back to Save My Planet. We're here at the Cebu Sanctuary in Costa Rica, where some folks take care of animals that have been injured by things like power lines and cars, and then get them ready to go back home. Let's go check it out. I'm here with Vicki Cohen at the Cebu Sanctuary here in Nosara, and tell me, Vicki, what's going on here?
We're trying to reintegrate monkeys that have been orphaned and rehabilitated for several years, and then they need to get back into the jungle and be free again.
You work directly with, as like a sister organization, the Nosara Wildlife Refuge.
Right. The babies are there for about a year and a half, and then they come out here.
And so the monkeys come here healed, and then you kind of retrain them and get them ready to go back into the forest?
Right. They have to be strong and a certain size, and then we practice letting them in and out. This is the enclosed habitat, and we have several doors that they are able to be released and come and go after about 6 to 8 months of learning who their neighbors are.
We go see them?
Let's go do that.
Come on.
Okay. We're going to try to release Bella and Kenya today, so we'll give it a try.
All right, well, let's watch.
Okay, let's see who wants to go. Bella, venga.
And do you find that the monkeys want to go? I mean, like, they're like...
Some do. Some want to leave. Bella, venga, come on. Let's go. Bella, Kenya, come on. Quince, I'm going to put you down, sweet.
This is real cool.
Come on, Bella. Come on, good girl. There you go. And she's a little shy. She enjoys going out, and she'll run on the bridges, and she'll go up the trees, but then she'll come by the door, and she's still a little bit unsure about the outside. When they encounter a wild monkey, they'll go right up to it and start hugging it and kissing and chattering. This is the open canopy, and after the monkeys are in the enclosed canopy, we plan to transfer them here. And this entire top will be open, but we'll have a fence on the side.
And I understand that a lot of this has been made possible by the Harmony Hotel.
Absolutely. They donated the materials. It wouldn't have been possible. And we have Charlie. Charlie is the monkey you'll see in the brochure. We rescued him. His mom was killed. And we call him Miracle Charlie because he had so many burns on his body. And then we nursed him back to health.
How long ago was that?
That was about 3 years ago.
Wow.
And so he's been out here. It'll be a year in March. And now he's free, and he travels with the other monkeys.
You know, and I'm curious, are there other places doing things like this?
No one else is taking care of the problem and helping these wonderful, wonderful little jungle creatures. They need to go distances to eat the fresh leaves, and unfortunately with the jungles being fragmented and the uninsulated power lines, they think they're vines and they're being electrocuted. We're trying to address this, and we're trying to bring awareness, and it's just getting people to please put up covered insulated lines. We have talked to the neighbors. They are going to go underground with their electric like we have.
So those are the two best solutions, is either insulating the wire or burying them underground.
That's correct.
Development is inevitable, so it's just responsible development, and there's such solutions.
That's right. It's sustainable development. We want our energy green, and we want to use natural sources of energy, but we need to deliver the energy also in a sustainable way so we're not harming any wildlife. And how wonderful that would be. Everyone wins there.
Wow, Vicki, this has been so educational. Really, thank you for this amazing work you're doing.
Thank you for visiting.
Take
Come
care.
back.
I will.
Okay.
Together with the Harmony Hotel, the people at Cebu and the Nosara Refuge are working hard to strike a balance between economic development and environmental protection. It's proof, if we think hard about the impact of our actions and make smart choices, we can all do our part to help save the planet. I'm Stephen Brooks. See you next time.